Yes, there was two of me. That was awesome. I love it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Tina D. Lewis, and I am super stoked out of my mind to be here with you all today for our Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers, the number one platform for women entrepreneurs to share their story, deliver their message, and sell their products and services literally around the globe. I am coming from you from Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, a little jet lagged, but guess what? Nothing can stop the show. Sunday Speaker Series every single Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, every single Sunday for Sunday Speaker Series. Okay, so as you guys know, as you ladies and gentlemen know, I have some pretty amazing guests. Today will be no different. We have a young lady who I met maybe 5, 6 years ago in regards to like LinkedIn. She's many things. She's a LinkedIn expert, but she's also an energy healer. And I know some of you were probably like me, like, what is energy healing? You keep hearing this thing. Does it work? Does it has results? Is it voodoo? And all of those things, all I could tell you is I am not going to tell you the answers. I am going to bring the expert to share her mastery, her gift, her skill set with each and every one of you. But before I go any further, I want to say we just came back from Johannesburg, South Africa. We were in Cape Town. We spoke at the University of UJ, right? They call it UJ, University of Johannesburg. We spoke there at an amazing annual summit and conference. Not only that, we had a TED salon following that. Do you know anything about TED? I know you've heard of TEDx, maybe even a TEDx talk or just TED talk. But there's a TED salon that we were able to participate in, and not just participate, we literally hosted it and sponsored it. So that was mind blowing as well. But one of my most favorite things is that one of our meals were prepared by Nelson Mandela's chef. Now, how huge is that? Now, that's monumental. That's historical, to say the least. And it was absolutely delish. It was delicious. He's incredible. So stay tuned. You're going to hear some things that he is doing. He's coming to the States. Is going to be explosive, like poof, explosive. And in addition to that, we got a chance to be verbally announced as fellows of the university. So that was pretty cool. And one of my most favorite experiences was the safari, seeing elephants gather together, seeing, you know, the deers and the giraffe. It was really, really awesome. And so I don't know where your favorite place is, or where's that one place that you dream to go. I just have two letters for you. Go. Yes, two letters, the G and the O. When you put them together, it's go. Go into the nations. Go soar your rural oats. Go explore other cities, other countries. Go and dine and break bread with other cultures and other people. Your mind will be expanded. And you know what's another thing that I'm going to share? It's one activity that I believe heightens your sense of awareness, gives you a sense of urgency. Can anyone guess? If you are watching this live, I want you to guess that in the chat. Guess what that is in the chat. There's one activity that will heighten your awareness, give you a sense of urgency like never before. There's one activity. I'm going to tell you what that is. Skydiving. It's skydiving. Yes, I believe that you literally stop breathing for just a split second while you're up there in the air when you're like, because the altitude is extremely high for our lungs to adjust. And so, speaking of lungs adjusting, when I first met this young lady, my lungs had to adjust. She literally took my breath away in the capacity that she had a passion for helping entrepreneurs be seen, heard on LinkedIn in the proper form. Like, she literally will take your LinkedIn and become a wordsmith, right? An orator, and change it so much so that it's saying the same things, but it's so powerful and impactful that you're like, is that me? So without further ado, I want to bring to the forefront a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, a colleague of mine. She is a member of Global Women Speakers. She's absolutely amazing. Her name is Gloria Rand. And I'm going to tell you something. You are going to be blown away. So without further ado, I am going to bring her to the forefront. Gloria, are you there? She's coming to the forefront. Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. Yes. Where's Gloria? Yes, here she comes. We have to make room for her, but here she is. Hey, Gloria, how are you,
Oh,
Grace Rand?
oh, I am so glad to see you. It has been way too long, and oh my goodness, that introduction. I hope I can live up to it. It was
Hey,
amazing. Thank you.
and you are welcome. All I can tell people is what I know of you. It's not literally my experience with you is not secondhand. It is firsthand. And you are just a little firecracker to say the least. And so today, not only I want you to tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, but most importantly, why do you do it? Why do you do it, Gloria? Over to
Absolutely.
you.
Well, and you're right. When we first met, my one of the things that I loved to do was to help business owners, help entrepreneurs with their LinkedIn presence, and that's been part of what I've been doing for a very long time is helping people with their online messaging. And now, over the last few years, I've had a shift in my world. I've been on a spiritual journey, and now I want to go deeper and really helping women entrepreneurs in particular with their mindset, with helping them to be the force that they want to be in the world and to be able to let go of things like imposter syndrome and that fear of success and things like that. And the modality that I have found to that has helped me through a lot of that and is helping my clients now is something it's a type of energy healing and it's quite unique. It's called light language.
Wait,
And
I don't
yeah,
one of the disclaimers that I have to give you here at Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers, is we have something called pause break. It's called a pause break because you're mentioning things that we never heard of before. So you may have to rewind, right?
yep,
Or you say the things that you are, your gift set, your skill set, your gifts. So often we run over them. And I want the people to get a chance to know you, Grace. I want them to know you, um, Gloria, just like I know you, and get to build instant rapport. And in order for them to do that, we're gonna have to slow down. They need to know who you are, then why you do what you do, and then what you do exactly in that order.
okay.
So what I would love to do is you talked about like an energy healing called light. What was that again?
Light language. Yeah,
Yes. Wow,
yes.
that sounds awesome. Light language. So what exactly does light language mean? What does it mean?
So, what light language is a form of communication that comes from your higher self. It comes from God. It's really an expression of love and healing energy, and it's something that is not as well known as maybe some other modalities out there,
Right,
but
right.
it's something that is very powerful and it can be done in a variety of ways. Different people share it in different ways. Some people, well, I speak it, I sing it, I sometimes use hand gestures, and then
Wow.
some people write it. And what's interesting is if you see symbols, light language symbols, to me, it reminds me of like Egyptian hieroglyphics
Mhm.
or sacred geometry. Uh,
Wow.
so it's a really cool thing, and I when I practice it, I ask for support from the angels, from galactic beings. It comes from a different dimension, but ultimately, it really, to me, it comes from God. It comes from Source. It's a love energy that I am able to transmit.
Wow. Okay. Well, I love that in multiple facets. Number one, you said language, and then you talked about all the ways that we communicate non-verbally with our hands, with our voice, literally writings, and just energetic. I love that because um, there's nothing mundane or trite about language. It's how we communicate. And there's various forms of communication. For those that are Christian or believers, they believe in, the House of Babel, when there were multiple languages spoken at one time. There's different languages, French, Spanish, Hindi. There's, Japanese, Mandarin. It's a plethora of different languages. So having a light language added to your repertoire or your toolbox, especially if it gives results. So for me, I have two questions. Number one, is this some type of voodoo? Like, woo, is this some type of voodoo or something like that? Like, I need to make sure, right? Most people want to make sure that they're aligned. And I believe in alignment before assignment. And I know that our viewers are like, what is that? Because when we hear something or exposed to something that does not align with what we've been told or taught, just think, Grace, how, like literally, how many times have we had to overcome being told about Santa Claus, the big jolly guy, with a nice white beard, with a hat, with a chuckle, ho, 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 and a sleigh. Like his car was a sleigh, it was a reindeer limousine, if you will. So we had to overcome all of those. The Easter bunny, really a bunny that runs and goes and lay eggs. Bunnies do not lay eggs. Newsflash, bunnies do not lay eggs. They lay other bunnies. Like, who told us that? So I'm going to ask you to become a blank slate. I'm going to ask you to be open to hearing what light language is all about, because we have been fed so many myths. I would say traditions that either are not accurate, was never accurate, never existed, and we believed in them. And so this is something that's scientific. This is something that has results. It's documented. And so, Grace, so thank you for defining exactly what light language is. So now that we know what it is, how do we apply it? Well, first, no, we got to go back. So is it voodoo?
No, it's definitely not voodoo. And I will tell you, I am reading a book right now called Sound Medicine, because I like to have facts back of things as well. I'm a science geek as well as a spiritual person. And so I've been trying to find some way to be able to say that this really does affect your body. And I'm reading this book by a doctor. She's an Indian doctor, and she cites all sorts of wonderful studies from well-established universities and things across the world that say how sound actually does affect our DNA, sound, because it's vibration, and we
Yes,
are all energy beings.
yes, yes. I love
So
it. So, Grace, I love the
yes,
fact that you said you're scientific and spiritual. So, you mean to tell me a scientific person and a spiritual person, they can be one? Really? Science
yes,
and spiritual?
absolutely. In fact, the more I read different books, it seems like actually science and spirituality are coming closer together all the time. I'm sure you've probably heard of like quantum physics and things like
Yes,
that.
yes.
So it's I love it. And as I say, I want to be able to tell someone, yes, this works, and be able to say, yeah, and here's the science back of it as well. It's not voodoo. It's really not. It's actually a healing modality.
I absolutely adore that. I just wanted clarity, because oftentimes our guest has questions when they watch live or when they catch the replay. And so I want to make sure that we can dispel some of those myths here, that we can give them the full spectrum of, in the short time that we have, of what we're talking about light language, so they can go do their own due diligence, but they have a foundation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And to, if I may share a little bit about why I consider it a healing modality, is
Well,
because it
before you
does.
do, I'm going to
Oh,
remove
okay.
myself and I'm going to
Okay.
give you the floor, because what I want you to do is I want you to operate in your gift. I want you to just tell us exactly what it is, why you believe it. And the most important for me is I want to know, does it get results? I want to know how to apply it for myself. And with that being said, I am going to move to the background and move nothing in the way, but just give Grace the floor. She is unbelievable. I can tell you this. If you're having any doubt, if you have any skepticism, that's okay. It happens. It happens when anything goes against our knowledge, our limited knowledge, is our finite knowledge. This happens. It happened to me too. And it will happen to some of you. And I'm just going to ask that you just listen and then go do your own due diligence, because the world is so expansive that we have to get out of our limited minds and believe that there's things outside of what we know. If what we know stops at you or me or Grace, then we're all in trouble. With that being said, I'm going to introduce you guys to none other than my friend, a mentor, a colleague, a mentee, none other than we call her Grace, but her name is Gloria Grace Rand. So, Gloria, with that being said, over to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. So again, as I said, light language it's a form of communication that I tap into, I call it source. It can be angels, but it's a language that comes through me that I am able to share. And that is something that it often sounds familiar. It's not something that I am able to necessarily translate, but it is a language that sounds familiar. And again, you may have to take a leap of faith with me here, but what I've been intuitive is that this is a language that we spoke before we came into this human body. Because again, I believe that we are all part of God. So whatever religion you believe, but there's something more to us. We are energy, we are a part of source. And so being able to transmit this language, which again, I feel it's a language of love. And it's something that when you hear it, when you experience it, it can touch your soul. And just to give you an example, the first time I ever heard someone presented, I was at a business conference, and this woman got up and shared her story about how she used to channel this, that's the word we use, to transmit it, as a child, and now she was doing it. And when she demonstrated this to this room full of women, probably 60 women, I started crying. And I was like, what the heck is going on? But something about that language that she spoke just connected to my heart in a major way. And so later on, I was able to start being able to transmit it myself. And what I always do, again, is to let you know that this is love, because I always set an intention that whatever is going to come through is going to be for either my soul's highest good, your soul's highest good. And so that it is, because of that, I always feel wonderful while I'm doing it. And afterwards, when I share it with other people, they feel relaxed, they feel at peace. And how can anything be bad that makes you feel that way, frankly? So that's why, again, and I'm doing more research now into looking at the science back of it, because again, when we are transmitting, when our voice is coming through, it is a sound vibration. And there have been numerous research studies that show that what we hear, it does affect you. And if you think about it, if you just are listening to different types of music, you can be put in a different mood depending on the type of music you're listening to. If you're listening to hard rock versus a Beethoven symphony, that affects you in a certain way. So it's not surprising then that this language that I am able to share with people then has an effect on their emotions. It has an effect on their bodies. And I feel it also helps you to strengthen your intuition, to strengthen that connection to source, because that's what I've experienced I've been practicing it now for almost 3 years. And the more I do it, the stronger I feel in my own self, my own sense, and it's helping me grow as a person. It's also helping me grow as an entrepreneur as well, because again, it's something that helps us to be able to be more fully present with ourselves, to be more calm, to be in alignment. And that's why I love it. So I hope that helps.
You were like, hey, listen, this is why I love it. I enjoy listening to people who are passionate about what they're passionate about, right? I'm passionate about speaking all over the globe. I'm passionate about exploring God's universe. I'm passionate about having once in a lifetime experience. I'm passionate about connecting with other women. I'm passionate about helping them create a multiple 6 and 7 figure business. I am passionate about women not being subjected to someone else to provide for them. I am passionate about teenage moms creating an income that they can take care of their children. I'm passionate about all of us, all women, creating a lifestyle that we do not need a vacation from. Period. Period. I am passionate about those things no matter what, hands down. That's what I am born for. It is in my DNA. It is what I have been predestined and preordained to do and to be. And I make no apologies. I'm unashamed and unapologetic about that. So I appreciate that, Grace. I really do. And so, can you do it virtually, or does
I
it
do.
have to be channeled or transmitted physically?
It can be done in person, it can be done virtually. In fact, I have my own podcast, and when I do solo episodes by myself, I always end the show with a little sample of the light language to end with. So, yeah, I do virtual sessions with folks all the time.
I'm so glad she said she can do it virtual, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to get a session today since she gives sample sessions, right? We're going to
Yes.
close it out that way. That would be cool. I love that. Okay, so what's the difference between light language and Reiki healing?
They're complementary. In fact, I'm actually a Reiki practitioner as well, but,
Oh, wow.
Reiki, typically, unless you're doing distance healing where you're sort of, sending that energy out, but typically it's a hands-on modality. Well, actually not hands-on, but you do feel the energy come through your hands as you place it over a particular person's, uh, part of their body where they're needing some healing energy from. So, yeah, and I've I've been experimenting sometimes with incorporating Reiki and light language
Wow.
together.
Yeah, that's good, because I remember when I first found out about Reiki healing, they were going like this, warming their
Yeah,
hands, getting the energy, and they were doing this to me.
yeah.
And I was like, what is this? It's freaking me out. Like, this is not what I'm used to, right? Coming from a Christian background, I'm accustomed to people putting their hands on me to pray for me, holding
Mhm.
my hands, kneeling, bowing, things like that. So it was a little freaky. But I can tell you, when I just prayed and asked God to give me a calmness and to give me the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, what ended up happening as wow, the results were unbelievable. I had so much energy. I felt at peace. I was able to make wiser decisions. It was
Mhm.
unbelievable. The energy, the vibration was unexplainable. I still can't explain to this day, but I
Yeah,
can tell you that it worked. I can't tell people what to believe, Grace, but I can tell them how I felt. I can tell
exactly.
them how I felt, right?
Right.
Right? That's in essence what it's all about.
Exactly.
Yes. So I want to know, see, because you saying that you heard about light language at a business meeting, that's like, okay, it wasn't a health and wellness event. It wasn't
No,
some strange random person coming to you, you know, making you believe this. This is something that you unexpectedly, you went to a business meeting to do business, and
exactly.
you were exposed, and you were like, wow, it's something to this. And I think that happens to all of us. I had never been exposed to, I would say, hypnotherapy,
Mm.
hypnosis, etc. I was never exposed to that. However, I went to a conference, and it was called The First Million, Your First Million. And I just knew that I was destined. And I thank God so frequently that, I wanted to be a millionaire. I knew I was destined to be one. And I'm so grateful that, it came into fruition, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like a millionaire, that would be awesome. And so I went to this program called First Million. And this was back, wow, probably in like 19 something, 1990 something. I can't remember the exact date. But being exposed, let's see, I graduated in 98. Um, So maybe it was early 2000s. But needless to say, it was called First Million. So the title alone got me, because everyone wants their first million, right? They want their first
Yes.
million. And so the guy who was teaching it, his name is Marshall Silver, and he's a hypnotist.
Mm.
And so I'm like, this is not happening. This is not true, whatever. And so I ate fire. I was excited. I was like, I can do anything now. I ate fire. And when he was giving his program. He was telling us what it exists, but he was telling us the results we were going to have. And so he was like, listen, I'm going to put you guys in a trance. And I was like, wait, is that demonic? Is that satanic? A trance, and all those words, channel, trance, all those things have been associated negatively in certain circles. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is what I want. I believe God led me to him, and I am just going to go with the flow. Once again, becoming a blank slate and looking at the results, not looking at the messenger, but receiving the message. Not looking at the messenger, but receiving the message. And so, Grace, I actually did that. And our homework was that we were to go out and hypnotize one person. That was our homework.
Wow.
And he put us in groups, and they had to video it, and it had to happen. And I'm like, okay, fine. I can do it. Like, I'm bold, Grace. I'm bold and I'm courageous. And I will do it. I will get it done. One thing about me, I'm going to find a way. It's going to happen if I desire. It's going to happen. And so we go out, and we're in Vegas. Where else can we go but to a casino? We're on the Strip, right? So we go into this bar lounge type thing, and we're all of us asking people, hey, can I hypnotize you? I just took this class and I like to hypnotize you. And one lady said, of course, yeah, you can hypnotize me. And I said, okay. She said, because I don't believe in it. It's not going to happen. And I can tell you this, I don't know what it was, Grace, but when she told me that she didn't believe in it, I was like, oh, you're really going to get hypnotized now. Hypnotized. And so I began to do my little things, and then I said, sleep, and snapped my fingers, and she was like, and I was shocked. Like, I'm like, and then so I started going like this to her face, and then her friend said, no. I said, don't touch her, please. And her friend was calling her name, and she was going like this. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And we forgot that I had hypnotized her, and that she was stuck like that. We started like clapping and said, oh my gosh, we were talking about how it worked. And she was like, what about my friend? What about my friend? I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to snap her out of it. And when I was like, awake, she awakened, and she was like, I told you it's not going to work. And we all started laughing, and we showed her the video. This is a truth. When I showed her the video, she was like, oh, no way. And her friend was like, yes, it happened. And so we went back the next day, and I won a prize because I was able to hypnotize someone. And so, yeah, so it's all about being open. It's all about being in search of what works for you, what you believe in, what aligns with you, and what makes you feel good, right?
Exactly.
I think what makes you feel good. I mean, you shared that for a good 5 minutes of how it made you feel. And I can tell you the Reiki that I received, even the hypnosis that I received, it made me feel good. I felt great. I had no guilt. It was no shame. And so this is a side note, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching, do not allow anyone to put any guilt, any shame, any remorse on anything that you do or that you believe in. Be in search of it for yourself. I even sometimes when I'm making huge decisions, Grace, I would take my right hand and put it over my heart, which is on the left side of my body. And I will say what I want to make sure it's in alignment.
Yes.
Make sure that my heart doesn't start beating erratically. Make sure that I'm at peace with that answer. And I do that with my clients. I say, so how much money do you want to earn? They're like, oh, $1 million. Oh, 6 figures. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Take your hand, let's put it over your heart. Let's see how it makes you feel. And oftentimes they will, if they say like $1 million, they'll go to maybe, like $70,000 because that's what's comfortable for them. Because at the time they're earning 20 and they just, or they'll say, you know what? Yes, it is $1 million, so I love that. So I do certain modalities that I believe in because it's given me tremendous results, and I will share it with anyone. And everyone has their perspective of what they think it is. And it's okay. It is okay to have your own opinion. And so, ladies and gentlemen, people will have a poor perception of you. They will talk about you. They will gossip. They will think negatively. Just don't let one of those people be you. Just don't let one of those people be you. Have the confidence, the competence, the courage to literally operate in your gift and your message. Because here's the deal. When the universe, when Allah, when God, when Jesus, when Buddha, when the angels, when the ancestors, when they gave you your assignment, it was not a conference call. It was just for you and them. And so I need you to operate on that by all means, all hands down. So Grace, what's your thoughts about that?
I love that, that it that it is, it's that one-on-one conversation. It's not a not a conference call. But and I also love the point that you said that we all have to figure things out for ourselves, and we all came here. I also believe that we all came here with a mission, but to to know that not everything is going to be what works for one person is not going to necessarily work for you, and that's okay. And as long as you keep searching and find what is going to be the thing that is going to help you, that it's going to light you up, or that's going to make you feel better. And I'm so glad that you've been able to find different things that work for you, because that's what, there's, what is it, 7 billion people in this world, so we're not all going to be the same. We're all unique. We're all the same, and yet we're all extremely unique individuals, and we're all going to respond in different ways to different things.
Yes, I agree. And I believe that our common denominator as human beings is to want more so we can have more, so we can become more, so we can give more. And that's just my belief. And I believe we're all on a journey to do
Hmm.
exactly that. Because for me, Grace, I don't want to be born in California and just simply die or transition in California without seeing the rest of the world. As a kid, I did not travel. And I can tell you, when I began to travel, I began to think different. I began to be open to the opinion of other people, and being open to the opinion and the advice and the mentorship and the leadership of other people literally changed my life. I am forever grateful, and I only wish that I would have done it sooner. And so I share with so many women, to a plethora of things. And some of the things that I share is, have emotional intelligence. There are women, and of course other people, but I'm specifically speaking about women. There are women who would get upset about something, stop doing their business, stop taking the advice of their coach. They will just shut down. Why? It's called emotional challenge. Don't shut down. Separate that issue, deal with that later, but still operate your business, build your brand, your business, and your bank account. Still keep that communication open. Still take the knowledge, take the nuggets, take the gems, take the strategies, take the blueprints. You still do that. Don't slow down, don't stop momentum because emotionally you've been disturbed, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also give yourself the grace, if I will, to to take a break now and then. And if you need it, and if you need to cry, go ahead and cry.
Yes.
But then, set the timer if you need to, but then get back to it, because you're so right that we have to keep moving forward. And because otherwise then you're moving backward, and we don't want to do that. So keep moving forward, keep doing what you're meant to do. And also, for business women in particular, think about the clients that you're here to serve. If you shut down, then they're going to be missing out on what you have to offer them, and so you don't want to be able to deprive them of your products or services that they need. So if think about them as opposed to wanting to give up. Don't do it. There's other people need you in this world.
Yes, yes, because listen, you have a gift that no one else has, and it's up to you to deliver it. The world is waiting, and for you not delivering, for you not performing, for you not, and you can fill in the blank, you're not offering, you're not servicing, you're not giving, whatever that is, you're doing the world a disservice because we're all intertwined.
Yes.
There is a song that says, I need you to survive. I need you to survive. I have a saying called Nodia, Nodia. No one does it alone. No one does it alone. That means you need someone, and that someone may rub you the wrong way, but have the right knowledge. That someone may not look like you, may not speak your language, but that someone has exactly what you need to be successful. And guess what? And it may not be in the same city you were born. It may not be where your family's from. It may not even be in your country, but you have to allow yourself to explore. We are creative by nature. We are curious by nature. When we're born, children are just so curious, right?
Mhm.
They just go, they look at things, they touch it, they look at your hand, they're just curious. And you know what happens? Adults, because they've been told, don't do this, stop doing that, that's dangerous, don't, like, it is unbelievable. I'm going to share with you that, my background, I come from where they tell kids, stop, don't do this. That's how my parents did me, right? And I'm pretty sure most parents did, don't go, don't do this, don't run, stay in a playpen. You can't be creative. You can't explore your surroundings, your environment. But I know for a fact that there are other cultures, and I've witnessed it, that allows their kids to roam around the house. The mother just follows the kid around the house. All the plugs have the protectors in it, and it allows them to be creative. And the way that they think is so different. Grace, you talked earlier about music. I love classical music not because it sounded good when I was first introduced to it. It didn't sound good. It was horrible. It hurt my ears, the high pitching. I'm like, this is garbage. However, when they told me that classical music stimulates the alpha waves in the brain, I'm like,
Mhm.
I love this music. It does not matter. And I started to listen to it. And I believe classical music, along with other things, discipline, structure, me just being a genius, I was able to pass my medical boards. I was able to memorize certain things. I was able to increase my vocabulary. And I share those things because I want you to allow your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews to be more creative. Allow them to explore. Um, you never know what they may be. A Van Gogh, they may be an Einstein, they may be a Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey, they may be you fill in the blank, they may be them. Allow them to be them and be great in their search for what it is that their hearts desire. We all have that. Our
Oh,
hearts
yeah.
desire different things, and I think it's extremely imperative that we allow each other, not just children, but each other to explore that. To explore that. That just, I mean, I just got chill bumps just talking about that because I believe that so many of us, especially women, we're living beneath our potential because someone told us we couldn't, or we became scared, or we feel that we're too old, that we're white, or that we're black, or that we're Asian, or we don't speak properly, we can't articulate, whatever that is. But I can tell you there's an audience waiting for you. The same God, the same universe that gave you that idea for that business will bring you the clients. I am living proof. I'm telling you, just operating your gift, no matter what. Listen to the people that you pay to mentor you, pay to coach you. It may not be the things that you would normally do. And that's why it's imperative. It's totally mandatory that you just listen, just follow it and see what happens. I'm excited about what's happening because I know these last 90 days for my clients, for myself, my members of the Six Figure Incubator, my members of Global Women Speakers, I know for a fact, and I say this without hesitation, for those that follow my lead, my strategies, my blueprint, they will earn money the last 90 days. And if they really are open and they do it correctly, I promise you, some of them will make more money in the last 90 days than they've made the entire year. And I stand by that. Unashamed, unwavering, period, point blank. So, Grace, we're going to close out soon, but I would love to have, right now, the time is 3:56. It'll be 4 minutes from an hour. I would love for you to give us a sample of light language for these last 4 minutes before we close out. And before you do, I want to give some announcements. Number one is we're going to Nigeria. I am going to Nigeria on October 5th with some amazing global women speakers. We are going to receive an award and to speak at an annual conference. We are on a billboard there in Nigeria. It's going to be awesome. We are also going to the Philippines. Same thing. We'll be in the Philippines October 16th through the 20th. I'm stoked about that. And we're going to Puerto Rico. Yes, on October 25th. All in October. 3 trips: Nigeria, the Philippines, and Puerto Rico. I can't wait for all of them. And I think I'm more excited about my achieving diamond status with Delta Airlines than anything. I want to be upgraded to Delta One. First class is awesome, right? At one point in my life, I never flew first class. I would just, I didn't know about Sky Miles or mileage. I didn't know about any of those things, right? I just knew that if I could find a cheap ticket, that's something that was affordable. I'm flying on that airline. There was no airline loyalty at all, right? But now things are different. So I would love to be upgraded to Delta One layout in the bed. That's unbelievable, right? So
Wow.
yes, so it has its privileges. I think I'm more excited about that, about getting diamond status for the very first time. I'm excited. So yes. And so those are the things that we have going on. And there will be Global Con, December 15th through, I'm sorry, December 17th through the 20th in Dubai with global women speakers. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be mind boggling. It's going to be an experience to say the least. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait. This will be my third time in Dubai. And I'm super excited. I can't wait. I'm excited about my trip to Nigeria as well, the Philippines. I'm excited about all of our trips. I really am. I really am. It's just, man, to be able to take women out of the country for the very first time, like that's unbelievable.
Oh,
I wish
that's
I had
wonderful.
someone to say, "Come on, you know what? It's time for you to go. I want to introduce you to a different culture, different languages, different foods, network, partnerships, strategic alliances, because that's what happens when you just go out on a limb. People are
Mhm.
afraid to go out on a limb, but Grace, that's where the fruit is. Duh.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I know. I took my first trip to Europe in 2019, and I was like, just like you, like, why did it take me so long to go? And I definitely want to do more traveling. So I am just in awe of you, and congratulations on all the wonderful things you've got
So
that
much.
you're doing with Global Women Speakers. It's amazing.
Well, thank you, Grace. Once again, I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to give you the entire floor. We would love to have a sample. And if you can speak up just a little bit, because I want them to exactly not just hear, I want them to feel vibration. Sound is vibrational as well. And so I want you to exude that out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to move to the background and move Grace up to the forefront. But before I do, I see that we have Dr. Sharon Arundel. I call her the silent storm. Listen, speaking of traveling, she's having a couples retreat in Jamaica, man. It's going to be awesome. Everything is already planned out. And listen, it's a steal. It's a steal. So you don't have to be a married couple. You can just have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a friend, a best friend. You can even take your enemy so you can get the couple discount. Go and make up and become friends on an island in Jamaica. Thank you, Dr. Sharon, for being there. It's always good to see you. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She says couples and singles. I get it. I know. But hey, the couples get discounts. And it's always good to explore the world with other people. So, but those of you who are single, meaning, you're not married, right? Like myself, like I'm single. I'm gonna get the single. I'm gonna get the single discount. I'm going to Jamaica, man. I want some oxtail, some rice and peas, and some plantain. Yes. So come on and go with us, Dr. Sharon Arundel. Not only is it just a retreat, right? But you're going to get coaching, mentorship. You're going to be able to network with women from other parts of the country, even the world. You're going to be able to do things that you always wanted to do. And there's no place better to do it than on the island of Jamaica, man. Dr. Sharon says, yes, absolutely. Dr. Sharon, do me a favor, drop your link. Drop the link for couples and singles so we can have it. For those of you who are watching live, that's what we do. It's all about uplifting, empowering, positioning, and inspiring women entrepreneurs to share their messages around the globe. So, Dr. Sharon, please put the link inside of the chat. And with that being said, the Gloria Grace Rand, I would love for you to go ahead and give us a sample of light language. So, Gloria, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. And I would just ask whoever is listening to this right now, or while you're listening to this on the replay, to set an intention for yourself that the message that you're going to receive is for your soul's highest good. And that is the intention that I'm asking with the message that comes through for you. So just, if you can close your eyes or just relax and let the message touch your heart. Ka koyana kohueha kwahune kohusa kohuye kono kuhue kohuya no kohusahe anyo no kahune kohu ahoe kaya tu sayo kuhua ayo no kuya kanyo no ku akoyo tokusha kasokoyo no kuya ke ayo no kuya asokuya te hano kasi ayo no kuye sosho no ku ayo tokuyate esha koryano ano kuya ahone kasakiatu asho no koe kohuya kosoyo no ku shonokuya kosi koye kosoyasu. Blessings to everyone.
Wow. Wow. I was lying on my back listening, and it was so beautiful. So beautiful. And so with that, we're going to close out. I have to say thank you to Grace. Thank you for being such a blessing to each of us. And for those of you that are watching live or that catching the replay, the link to the retreat is absolutely in the chat. Thank you, Dr. Sharon, for that. But what I would like at this point is I want us all to just become still, just be very, very still, be at peace, get comfortable. If you're sitting, if you're driving, don't do this. But if you are sitting, I just want you to be at peace. I want you to plant your feet like immediately together on the ground, on the floor, on the carpet, wherever that may be. Take some deep breaths. Release. Deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, yes. It just feels so good to be in equilibrium. And I believe that's what that song did for me. Um, at one time in my life, I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. What is that noise? But when you come to a knowledge, when you come to have a cognizance of yourself, of the environment, and that there is so much more for you, then you can receive it with open arms. And that has been my stance. It will continue to be. I love growth. There's always room for growth, no matter who you are. You know, it says test the spirits. And what I do know for a fact, that Grace comes in peace, and that what she's experienced, she's simply sharing it with us. And Grace, I just want to thank you from the top of my heart for saying yes and being a part of Global Women Speakers and bringing your skill set and the things. Are you still doing anything with LinkedIn?
I'm still doing it occasionally, although I've been actually have found someone who does it even I was going to say, well, yes, does it even better than I do, and so I'm actually learning more from her. But I still love helping people with writing and content and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So if you can give me her information, I would love for the ladies to be able to ameliorate, improve, next level their LinkedIn so they can start making those professional connections. I think it's imperative. And also, I just want to say thank you for sharing light language. And if you can, inside of the group, if you can put maybe some some quotes, some books, some references, because I know some people are going to be curious and they want to do research. They're going to love it. And so I want to provide the resources that's necessary for them to get what they need.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that's what I did when I first learned about it. I was like, I had to find anything I could to learn about it. So I'd be happy to share that.
Well, I appreciate you more than you know. I don't take it for granted that you spent your Sunday afternoon here on Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. I am elated. I am like humbled. So thank you so much for that, Grace. We cannot wait to see you again. Please, in the chat, in the group, put those resources so I can go learn more about light language. It's important to me. I want to put it at the forefront of my mind, because what I do know is that as time elapses and as we move forward in time, there are different things that we're going to need, and I want to put everything in my toolbox, along with my prayer, along with my Reiki, along with my affirmations, along with my positive thinking, along with all of those things, so I, Dr. Tina D, can have peace, so that I can learn more, so I can give more, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. And everyone is not going to be open to prayer or Reiki or yoga or chanting, right? And so I got to have some things as a strategist, as a business strategist, have some things in my toolkit that I can say, hey, try this. Try this. And so I have to educate myself. And so if you have a coach, a mentor, someone working with you in your business, and they're not growing and they're not learning, they're not a student still, then I just believe that, that's absolutely the wrong person. You have to always be a student. You have to learn so you can give to other people. We're just a conduit. We're a conduit. It comes through us. We don't learn and devour the knowledge to keep it to ourselves. No, that's not it. We learn it, we consume it, we become it so we can give it. And so thank you for giving of yourself, Grace. I appreciate you. I cannot wait to hear those resources and to see you more. So thank you on behalf of myself and every member of Global Women Speakers. Have an amazing day. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time that you spent here on Sunday Speaker Series with Global Women Speakers. If you have a message and you want to speak, send an email to speak@globalwomenspeakers.com. We also have an intake form, and that intake form can be found at globalwomenspeakers.com, globalwomenspeakers.com. It is actually on the screen. Go to globalwomenspeakers.com, fill out that intake form. Let's know more about you, but more importantly, let's share your message, your story, your products, and your services literally with women around the globe. I would love to invite you, give you a personal invitation to travel the world with us, to speak on different platforms, to get the visibility, the exposure that you totally deserve. The world is waiting on your story. And I would love for you to use the platform of Global Women Speakers to share it. My name is Dr. Tina D. Lewis. I know you could have been anywhere on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, but you made a conscious decision. You were intentional about being here. So whether you're watching this live or you're going to catch the replay, shukriya. That's thank you in Hindi, gracias in Spanish, and mercy in French. And if you have some other ways of saying thank you, put it in the chat. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We will see you next Sunday on Sunday Speaker Series, every single Sunday. As a matter of fact, I want you to look at your calendars. I believe, and let me double check, that the 31st of December, the last day of 2023, is on a Sunday. And so it is. And so let me tell you how powerful that is and significant for us. We started Sunday Speaker Series on January 1 of 2023, and we're going to end it on January 31st. Wow, and wow. And so we've had Les Brown, we've had Bill Walsh, America's business leader. We've had Derrick Harper, who has 25 businesses, and 3 of them are 8-figure. We've had Kate Hancock, who took $20 and turned it into $20 million via Amazon arbitrage. And I can go on and on and on. On and on and on. We just had Grace. We've had Lori Curtis. We've had Erica Sheffield. We've had a plethora of people. We've had, listen, some amazing women and men that simply came to give a contribution. I believe that at one point in all of our lives, we have to get past a point of simply making money and being successful and start living a life of significance and contribution. And Sunday Speaker Series is that contribution. So once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I am humbled. I am honored and cannot wait to see you next week on Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. Don't come alone. Bring a friend. We will see you soon. Take care. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless your dreams. This episode is officially a wrap. Mwah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.